So every area's got its own flavors and got its own failures and successes and highlights and low points. But for me, Shoreditch has always represented home, and so I set up my first poetry night in Shoreditch, right? Chill Pill, and it was just like a brilliant place where any poet can just come down, whether you are hardcore political or you just want to talk about, I don't know, a drunk night out on a Saturday. Um, Anyone could just come down, pick up the mic, and just be themselves. And so I think that sort of like that need to create and that need to express and that need to assert an identity, I think that's born from here.
I chose this area because that's the best area for streetwear. It's just there's so many young people, so many like cool people, and also there's a radio station just behind me. So I knew that it was the best, location for me. And yeah, and anyways, Hackney in general is for young people. The type of people you see here are going to be totally different from the people in central London, Oxford Street, and all of that. So yeah, that's why I chose here.
There's been a lot of music's come from Hackney, a lot of music's come from the East End side. Grime's a big one these days, but it's not the only one. There's loads of things have been, loads of things have gone. There's massive amounts of bands that have come from around here, loads of culture, loads of people have played around here, have played big gigs. Yes, it's music central around here.
Most of my team in jail. Scots living life like this. I remember life as a kid. Life is all sweet and shit. Before I have my kids, I can't put their life at risk. I can't put my life at risk.
I've been on community radio for over 7 years, and what we see is that a lot of grime artists, a lot of the underground artists have really created the foundation of modern urban and pop culture today. And a lot of these young men and women, they were born and bred in the ends.
Artists can live on nothing. An artist needs to create. That's all they need to do. And so they don't really need to drive flash cars. They don't really need to have loads of jewelry. They don't need a lot of status symbols. All they need is to be able to do their art. So they were always going to look for places where you can live literally as cheaply as possible. And this used to be that place. And so the artists then come in and then they start creating art, and art by nature attracts people. So people realize, oh wow, this guy's got an exhibition going on here. This girl's got a concert going on here. And so it attracts people, and then the area starts to get a buzz. And then once an area starts to get a buzz, then the money people start figuring, wow, all this beautiful art that's going on here, all these artists want to live here, let's create things for them to be able to do their art. So then you've got places where people can buy spray cans, right? You've got places where people can buy musical equipment, So it's just the nature of it.
I think one of the jobs of the local council, which we take really seriously, is to make sure that we continue to provide kind of affordable workspace and access to affordable spaces for people to continue to be creative and continue to make Hackney what we really like, which is creative, a real mix of people, and a kind of place that people can come and be what they want to be, and kind of set up their own kind of businesses and kind of creative endeavours.
So when people think about moving here, they have a desire to move here because of the mainstream and popular culture that they've experienced, whether it be on TV or film or music. And these foundations were laid by these fantastic artists who have used the pain and the experiences they've been through to create music that's kind of gone worldwide. And it's just that understanding that these underground artists, right, they created what everybody experiences in the mainstream. So when you come to the end, they've laid the foundation. That foundation has been made by the experience our parents went through, and that experience has been laid upon the experience their parents went through. And that's why gentrification and the issues and the concerns that it's raised is so important to us, and that's why we have so many views and opinions on it.